all should know that I'm actually a mad scientist, which is why my hair looks like this. I know, Phantom, it's fucking ridiculous. I don't know why it's not cooperating with me, like ever. So everyone's got that one app that they're completely obsessed with, the app that takes all of their money. For some people it's Candy Crush, for some people it might be Pokemon Go. I don't know if you can buy shit in Pokemon Go, but we'll get to that here in a second. But my app of choice, my drug of choice, my app of choice that takes all of my money, but I still love them and I give them all of my money because their stuff is great, is an app called Touch of Modern. And I've talked about this before in some of my past vlogs, like from way back in the day. But Touch of Modern is a website / they have an app on the App Store where every day they have deals that go on for 24 hours, 24 to 72 hour deals from various companies that you don't even know exist. And they have a selection of everything from like alcohol to beard oil to shoes to clothes, robots that clean your house, furniture, cars, motorbikes. Like it's everything from $5 to $5 million. It's insane to see that there's stuff out there that exists that costs that much money for no reason. Like there was this clock on Touch of Modern and I think it was like $30,000. It was a giant gold spider and the actual clock face was like that big. It was like the size of this lens. The reason I'm telling you about it is because I just, you know, I guess I needed some new underwear and Skull and Bones was one of the companies that was on there. Look at these. They look so comfy. I just want to put them on my face. These are like $15 for 3 pairs and they're so simple and I love them. And yes, I wear boxer briefs because they're comfortable and they don't give you a panty line. But if you guys like getting cool shit, I mean, if those boxers weren't cool enough to like fucking convince you, this cool hand sculpture is actually from Touch of Modern. You mount it onto your wall and you put a beaker in it and then you put, it's like a rain measuring thing, but I wanted to get it because I think it's really cool decoration and I'm gonna put coffee beans in it so my whole house smells like coffee beans. Thank you, Pinterest. Also, you should follow me on Pinterest. So if you want to check out Touch of Modern, I have a referral link in the description. You get $10 off your first order and I also get some money so that I can then buy more shit off of Touch of Modern. So Pokemon Go, let's talk about it. I personally have not had a chance to play Pokemon Go because I'm so busy, but I do want to talk about it. And the next video is actually going to be a vlog of me trying to play Pokemon Go, but I want to make a video before and after I play it because I do want to show you my perspective on the game. A little background about me. I grew up playing Pokemon. At school I played Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Because those were like the hot things back in the 90s at school. We would play during recess at school and we ended up getting in like fist fights over Pokemon. Not me particularly, but you know, kids would get in fights over these Pokemon cards. So they actually banned Pokemon from my school. I actually went to a school called Deer Creek in Edmond, Oklahoma, so I'm curious if any of you guys even have heard of that school, or maybe some of you go to that school, which would be even crazier. But that is where I grew up and they banned Pokemon from my school, so when that happened, we all kind of just stopped playing it. We stopped paying attention to it. We stopped like watching the show and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy the game because I was so distanced from it because, one, they banned it from my school, and then when I turned 16, I moved to the Middle East where Pokemon, like, that's not a thing there, and I was 16, so it was kind of like, if you still played Pokemon, you were, like, childish and immature, so we didn't do that. And so I think it's interesting now that everyone that's my age that used to play Pokemon when we were kids, we're out in the streets playing Pokemon again. I think it's great that Nintendo is bringing a community together and it's getting kids up off their asses and outside, which is what video game companies and app creators have been trying to do for years. So I think that's great. Kudos to you, Nintendo, and the Pokemon creators. You guys have really revolutionized the way we are going to look at things like virtual reality. Things like virtual reality will now become more relevant because of things like Pokemon Go, because they're literally bringing the video game to the streets, to your life, to make you interact with a game in real life, which is what virtual reality is. So this game is about to revolutionize virtual reality as we know it, and if you haven't seen that coming, I don't know what you're doing. But the biggest issue I have with Pokemon Go, honestly, is, well, I have a few issues. First of all, people are forgetting, like, logic. Like, logic's being just tossed aside, and they're like, I'm gonna go onto this person's property to catch a Pokemon. I'm gonna go into this person's backyard to catch a Pokemon. You can't just trespass to go fucking play a game on your phone. Like, you look like an idiot, and people that are getting in, like, actual fights on the streets over this, people are robbing people, people are finding people on, like, Pokemon Go, like, the stop spots, and they're like robbing people. First of all, that's kind of ingenious that they're doing it that way because, I mean, It's literally telling criminals where people are going to be, but it's also horrible that you decide to rob people and make something that's great into a tool to hurt people, and that's horrible. And the other issue I have with it is there's so much going on in our world right now that needs our attention. Things like these mass shootings, the presidential election that nobody's fucking paying attention to anymore because Pokemon Go is all up in your face. And I get it. I get why Pokemon Go is doing so well. It is a distraction to what's going on. It's bringing something good into this darkness, which is great. I'm not saying that it shouldn't exist. I'm just saying that we need to pay attention to everything that's actually going on in our world, especially in our country, because it has a direct effect on what happens to us. This presidential election is fucking ridiculous. Let's be honest. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a complete joke. The candidates that should be in the limelight and the spotlight that are getting all the attention aren't, because Trump and Clinton are just fucking I don't even have words to what they're doing. Clinton's breaking the law again. Trump is just saying shit about Hillary. Like, what is he even trying to do? He basically says, like, I could go out in the street and shoot someone in the face and I wouldn't lose a vote over it. Like, what are you doing, Trump? Like, you're the problem, sir. I don't want this to be about the presidential campaign. Like, we'll talk about that later. I don't really want to talk about politics right now. I just want to talk about Pokemon Go, and the reason I brought politics into it is because Pokemon Go is such a big distraction, especially to the voting populace, people my age. We're not gonna go vote because we're too busy trying to catch them all. And that's a problem, because all the older demographic of voting people are gonna go vote for Trump because they're fucking crazy and they want to kill all of us. So if you really do believe things like the LGBTQA+ campaign matters, if you believe that Black Lives Matter, if you believe that these mass shootings need to stop, if you believe that police brutality needs to stop, maybe stop trying to catch them all and start trying to catch some information about what's going on and how you can do something about it. Distractions are good, but they are also distractions for a reason. And I'm not saying that the government was like, we should release this app that's gonna take over the world right now because of all this bullshit that's going on. And I mean, we don't know what our government's doing. They could be trying to pull some strings behind the scenes while we're distracted, which is generally what they do if you look in history. So those are my thoughts on Pokemon Go before having played the game. I'm sure they'll change after I play the game. Everyone I know that has played it, that didn't want to play it, they now are obsessed with it. So that could be the case for me, but we're gonna see on Monday what happens. Also, I am filming this ahead of time. Today is the 19th, tomorrow is the 20th, you'll be watching this on the 21st. Tomorrow, NASA is having their fourth annual space history sale. And if you know anything about me, I have a space problem. It's not a problem, it's just I love space and adventure and exploration, so I'm completely obsessed with it. So NASA is having their 4th annual space history auction, where they auction off shit that NASA has used over the years, such as signed photos of Buzz Aldrin on the moon, window panes from like space shuttles, and these things can go from anywhere from like $100 to tens of thousands of dollars. Basically what I'm saying is, I might have taken a loan out just to buy everything. So hopefully when you're watching this, I have money and I'm not completely broke living in a spaceship. Although I'm not gonna complain if that's what happens, because I would love to live in a spaceship. Lastly, speaking of space, Penn and Teller actually have a new show that starts soon. I think it starts like today or something, and it runs through August. It's called Out of This World. So what I want you to do for me, as my viewers, as my loyal, dedicated viewers, I would like to go to that show as a social media influencer and vlog my experience at a Penn and Teller show that is based around the thing I love most, space. So what I need you to do is tweet the link in the description, and that will take you over to Twitter, and that will tweet Penn and Teller and their production agency saying that I should go there and vlog the experience and share that experience with you guys, and then get you some possibly free tickets to go to this show. So would you do that for me? Please help me make my dreams come true. Because I want to go to the show, and I'm going to go to the show regardless of if I vlog it or not. But how cool would it be if I got to vlog it? Like, if I got to vlog my experience, if I got to, like, go behind the scenes, maybe? Meet Penn and Teller? That'd be cool. I don't know if I'm a big enough social media influencer to do that just yet, but it would be fucking awesome. So until we play some Pokemon Go, I will see you guys later. Stay strong, keep enduring, and let me know your experiences with the app. I want to know if you guys like the game or not. I'll see you next time.